Kasalukuyang nasa protective custody na ng International Criminal Court, ICC, si Arturo Las Cañas na umaming hitman at dating miyembro ng Davao Death Squad, ayon kay dating Senador Leila de Lima. Ayon kay de Lima sa isang panayam nitong Martes, nasa kustodya na rin ng ICC si Edgar Matobato matapos ang pagbusisi ng tribunal sa kanyang testimonya. Ang alam ko, na-access na rin siya ng ICC and that both of them are under the protective custody of ICC. So, pasado sa ICC. Importante silang witnesses para sa kanila, ani de Lima. Kinumpirma rin ni de Lima na nauna ring umalis ng bansa si Matobato gamit ang isang pekeng pangalan batay sa naging pahayag ng hitman sa New York Times. Samantala, sinabi naman ng Malacanang na wala silang koneksyon sa umano'y paglabas ng bansa ni Matobato. Wala kaming masabi dyan dahil we have no connection with Mr. Matobato. Whatever his purpose in going out, we cannot control that. Wika ni Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin.
To testify. When you were DOJ Secretary, why didn't you file a case against the former president? You had all the means, you had all the power to do so. When you were Secretary of the Department of Justice?
I actually referred the matter of when Edgar Matobato came to us for witness protection. I refer ko po ulit yung the DDS matter
So what
to
happened?
the wala po. Wala
Bakit
po.
wala? You were a very, very powerful member of the cabinet during that Aquino administration. You did not do anything?
It's not
To
that I
pursue
did
the
not
case?
do anything.
To pursue
it's
the
just
case?
that I asked the NBI to pursue further the investigation. Pero wala na po.
Why is it only in Davao that you had this investigation? Bakit Davao lang? Why were you so focused and why are you so concentrated in investigating Davao?
Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all of its successes and shortcomings, it was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming krimen. Alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o ano, I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo.
Mr. Chair, I would like to invite the attention of the former senator when she was still a sitting member of the Senate. With regard to the committee report of the Committee on Justice then, for the years, if I may read, for the years 2001 to 2009, under the Arroyo administration, 91,762 killings were reported, or an average of 10.196 killings per year, 850 killings per month, or 28 killings per day. On the other hand, for the years 2010 to 2016, under the Aquino administration, there were 85,878 recorded killings, with an average of 14,313 killings per year, 1,193 killings per month, or 40 killings per day. You were the Justice Secretary during the Aquino administration. Why did you not investigate these killings?
All right. May I start by saying that on the matter of EJ case in general, especially with respect to the killings of activists, I did recommend, and it was adopted, there was this Administrative Order number 35, creating an interagency committee to look into the various drug killings, to the various activist killings, targeting members of progressive groups, leftist organizations, and that was somewhat rampant during the time of former President Arroyo. Now, bakit wala pa po yung drug killings? Kasi nga po, pinapapursu ko pa sa NBI. It was not the real focus then of Administrative Number 35, which is the Special Interagency Committee to address extrajudicial killings. Now, talking about the Gordon report, you mentioned the Justice Committee report, which was subsequently headed by former Senator Dick Gordon. Sinabi nga niya po yun, na bakit yung EJ case lang, bakit yung ibang mga EJ case ay hindi natin kailangan imbestigahan o hindi natin inimbestigahan dun sa Senate Committee. Mukhang may problema po sa ganun. Kasi ang nakita ng committee, ng majority committee in coming up with that committee report is that, well, hindi actually nila nakita na may special complexion at the time, at the start of the drug war killings beginning 2016 under the Duterte administration. I'm not talking about the drug war killings kasi wala namang ganong war on drugs specifically in Davao City, although among those or many of those victimized were also alleged drug offenders aside from petty criminals and other kinds of criminals. So, nakita dapat yun, and that was the very point of my resolution that I filed calling for an inquiry, na medyo ibang fenomeno nito ngayon sa war on drugs, na ito sa ngalan ng war on drugs ay may mga pinapatay in numbers, substantial numbers, in the name of war on drugs. Kaya dapat, hindi yun naging issue talaga. Bakit hindi na lang natin imbestigahan yung buong mga pangyayari ng mga EJ case in various administrations? What they failed to appreciate, I'm talking about the committee report, is that the focus of my investigation ay yung mga dumadami na halos araw-araw na pinapatay since day one of the former president's assumption into office. And even before his official assumption into office, meron na talaga na mga pinapatay araw-araw, halos araw-araw, nakita natin yon.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's supposed...
Senator De Lima, it is only fair na bigyan niyo ako ng 1 minute. And I have read, this is part of my speech, but I want to make it of record. Ito yung the long and short sa trabaho ko. Nung mayor ako, pati presidente ako, is that the jobs nung dalawang trabaho was never easy. And it was not meant to be. I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs and without compromise. Kasali na lahat yung naririnig niyo. Whatever it is, hindi ako nag-compromise. Sinabi ko, ito, pagka pumasok kayo dyan, walang compromise, walang ariglo, walang usapan. Do not do it in my city. Nung presidente ako, sabi ko, bitawan ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng problema. Ito na nga itong ngayon. As I've tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs firmly and without compromise. Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all of its successes and shortcomings, It was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming krimen. Alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o ano, I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo. I am ready for...
Consistent pa rin ang mga pahayag ni dating Pangulong Duterte, mga kababayan. Ganito dapat ang leader, may paninindigan sa mga binibitawang salita. Ang hindi natin maintindihan dito sa mga anti-Duterte, mga kababayan, ay pilit nilang pinapalabas na utos ng dating Pangulo na kumitil na lang ng buhay. Kahit ilang beses nang ipiniliwanag ni Pangulong Duterte na wala itong utos na pumatay. At naririnig naman natin, mga kababayan, hanggang ngayon na sinabi ng dating Pangulong Duterte kung ano ang utos nito sa mga otoridad na gawin ninyo ang trabaho nyo at kung malalagay sa alanganin ang kanilang buhay ay sa kanila gagawin ang nararapat. Ito yung hindi naiintindihan o ayaw intindihin ng mga may ayaw kay dating Pangulong Duterte.